this afternoon, a search is underway to find two missing firefighters who went fishing Friday morning and they never returned.
You know, when something bad like this happens, everybody says, you know, talks about how good that person is, and you know, and he is.
He's built to help people.
That's what we do is figure out ways out of bad situations.
Obviously, the longer this drags on, the more worried we get. He's one of those guys that just everybody likes. He'd do anything for anybody, and never had a bad word to say about anybody.
I mean, we just want to organize that to cover the beaches and the waters in prayer. That is the best thing that we could do for those guys right now.
And we are following breaking news right now in the search for these two missing firefighters, one of them from here in Jacksonville, both of them lost at sea since Friday. Welcome to First Coast News. I'm Heather Crawford. Tonight, the U.S. Coast Guard says a report that their missing boat may have been found is a false alarm. Guardsmen say they did find a debris field, but tell us it is not connected to the missing boaters. Now tonight, the search for those men stretches from Port Canaveral all the way up to Jacksonville. The firefighters have not been seen since they launched from the Port Canaveral boat ramp Friday morning. And here is what else we know at this hour. Brian McCluney and Justin Walker were out on a fishing trip due to return Friday night. There's no indication that the men sent out any distress calls during their excursion on Friday. And then that newest information coming in just within the past hour, the debris field east of Jacksonville and another one east of St. Augustine are not connected to the missing men, according to the Coast Guard. We have live team coverage for you tonight. Kaylee Tracy's on your side in Port Canaveral, where she spoke with Brian McCluney's wife just a little while ago. But we want to begin tonight with Cam Leppinger live in Volano Beach. And Cam, I know a search party launched from there earlier today.
Yeah, Heather, you wouldn't be able to tell because things are pretty quiet right now, but there's a massive search underway. We're talking more than 50 firefighters, more than a dozen boats, and they've been out here since 7 o'clock, and some are still out there. Just within the past 30 minutes, we did see the St. Johns County Fire Rescue Boat return here at Volano, and they've been searching all throughout St. Augustine, Daytona, and Port Canaveral. For JFRD, the search is on for one of their own.
These are all off-duty firefighters that are down here donating their time, their gas, their boats. They're looking for one of their brothers.
JFRD firefighter Brian McCluney and Fairfax firefighter Justin Walker both went missing Friday while out on a fishing trip at Port Canaveral. On Sunday morning, about 50 firefighters with 16 boats gathered here at the Volano Landing boat ramp to help out with the search.
We have firefighters running from here to Ponce Inlet and from Ponce Inlet south down to Cape Canaveral, and they're basically staggered every 2 miles offshore and running that all the way south.
Interim Director Fire Chief Keith Powers says the crews are helping out the United States Coast Guard in conducting what's called a grid search pattern, covering St. Augustine, Daytona, and Port Canaveral, where the two were last seen.
For down that grid search pattern and going 2 miles further offshore and coming back to the north, trying to make sure we don't leave any water unturned in those areas that the Coast Guard has given us.
Powers says he and his team are all remaining hopeful for McCluney and Walker's safe return.
He's got all the skill set. He's been a boater his entire life, fishing offshore, so he's got the skill set to survive, out there and do what it takes to for a happy ending in this.
And now we're going to continue our team coverage with Kaylee Tracy. She's joining us live in Port Canaveral. Kaylee, what can you tell us?
Thanks, Campbell. Just as his brothers at the fire department just told you, he has these survival skills. His actual brother and his wife, Stephanie, say the same thing. They are down here. They were on the beach today with a big group here looking for any debris that may have washed ashore, scouring the beach here, first starting in prayer. We're going to take you to that scene now.
And God, we ask that you would return them safely.
Prayers at Port Canaveral today as family and friends of missing boaters Brian McCluney and Justin Walker search the beach for anything that the two firefighters may have tossed overboard and may have washed in.
We did downplay it. Daddy's engine broke and we're going to go out and get him.
McCluney and Walker were in McCluney's dad's boat, who died 1 month ago.
Give that boat one good, get those lines wet one more time, one big final hurrah for his dad. And it was just supposed to be one great day in his honor.
As they walk the beach and pray, they hold on to hope and each other.
My little brother is a superhero, so I've looked up to him always.
Is anyone built of a Iron Man? That's him.
And as you heard his family say, Brian, he not only is a firefighter, but he is also a veteran. They say he has plenty of survival skills again. And of course, his friend on the boat with him, he is also a firefighter. So they're holding on to hope, as we were saying, out here today. And they say they'll do whatever it takes, search as long as they can. And they do want us to mention how thankful they are to everyone, whether you're sharing your personal boat, your time, your gas money, or if you have just shared anything on Facebook or social media related to this. They did want to extend that big thank you and say, keep continuing the support. For now, Kaylee Tracy, First Coast News, on your side.
A lot of people coming together to search for them. Kaylee, thank you. And First Coast News is on your side, tracking every development in the search for both of these missing firefighters. You can follow along every step of the way on our website, firstcoastnews.com.